On April 18, 17 days after she was first reported missing, Robinson's torso and arm were found in South Milwaukee. Nearly a month later, her arm washed up on the beach in Waukegan, Illinois.
What are you still searching for? I'm gonna say her crown, her head is still missing.
So we're going to be talking about the case of Maxwell Anderson. Maxwell Anderson will be going on trial. He's accused of murdering this sweet little girl. So sad. Shardai Robinson, cutting her up and setting her car on fire. Jury selection will begin on May the 27th, 2025, and expected to last 1 to 2 days. After that, the state will present their case. Prosecutors say they have over 250 witnesses against this guy. 250 witnesses lined up. They're not really sure if they're going to call all of the witnesses, but they do have 250 witnesses. They expect the state's presentation to last anywhere between a week to a week and a half. It is unknown what Anderson's defense will be. So the whole trial could last maybe no more than a week, hopefully. They have already done some deep dives on the case, including reading the full 10-page criminal complaint, which was packed full of details. Shardai Robinson was born on May 10, 2004 in Vicksburg, Mississippi. She moved to Milwaukee with her mother before she turned 2. Her father lives in Florida, but her parents did their best to co-parent even though they were never married. Shardai worked 2 jobs. One of them was a cashier at a pizza shuttle on Milwaukee's east side, and another one was at the Wisconsin Club, where she also got her sister a job. She was an overachiever. She studied criminal justice with plans on joining the Army. At the age of, she was just 19 years old. She was 1 month away from earning her associate's degree in criminal justice from the Milwaukee Area Technical College. Friends say she would have spotted warning signs better than most, and no one expected something as terrible as this to happen on a first date. All anybody knows is that she was excited about this first date. You know, she was excited about the meal, the drink, the date, and then things escalated horribly. In unsealed documents, an informant told police on the evening of March the 5th, Anderson said he had planned on killing Shardai, bringing her to his house, pulling a gun on her, leading her downstairs, shooting her, and dismembering her in a room, and scattering her remains around the city. Her mother remembers Shardai as a young woman still trying to figure out life with the dreams of joining the military. Every year on both her mother's birthday, which was April the 27th, and her own birthday, which was May the 10th, they would celebrate a meal at the MATC's culinary program. Shardai had even taken a trip to Jamaica and loved to travel. Her mother said Anderson didn't seem like the kind of person Shardai would choose as a date. As a mother, I know someone harmed my baby. This is what she's saying. I am going to need that person to be held accountable, she said. The family has been searching for her remains, doing media interviews, and staying strong despite the horror. Shardai was reported missing on April the 2nd, 2022, when she didn't arrive at work. Something was totally wrong. It was totally unlike her to miss work. Everyone knew that she was reliable and she was punctual, so her friends filed the missing person report. The last image of her alive shows that she was headed off to work because she had Life 360 on her phone. Her family could see that her phone pinged at Anderson's house and then moved around Milwaukee. Investigators will surely use this app during the trial. So let's talk about this timeline. On April the 1st, 2024, you have some text messages between Shardai and Anderson between 4:15 p.m. to 5:18 p.m. At 5:09 p.m., Anderson arrived at the Twisted Fisherman's Restaurant. At 5:20 p.m., Shardai arrived. They left at 6:24 p.m., headed east. Between 7:04 p.m. and 9:06 p.m., they were at the Dukes on the Water. Surveillance cameras captured them at this particular location. Between 9:06 p.m. and 9:28 p.m., they traveled towards Anderson's house in Shardai's car. From about 9:28 p.m. to just before 1 a.m., they were at his house. That's approximately 3 hours and 19 minutes. Okay? And so on April the 1st through the 2nd, 2024, 11:25 p.m. to 12:45 p.m., security videos shows movements in the backyard off and on. And then on April the 2nd, between midnight and 1 o'clock in the morning to about 1:38 a.m., Shardai's car and phone traveled from Anderson's house. Video shows the car turning west down the alley at 12:47 a.m. Investigators believe Anderson drove around the city, disposing of her remains between 3:24 a.m. and 4:35 a.m., using the phone pings to track where he went. At 4:35 a.m., her phone battery died. At 7:32 a.m., her car was found burned near 29th and Lisbon. Passerby discovered her leg in War Memorial Park the next day. Police later found her foot and other remains nearby. Sick. On April the 2nd at 9 p.m., a friend reported her missing, and then on April the 3rd, police did a welfare check at her apartment. No answer. On April the 4th, officers executed a search warrant at Anderson's home and arrested him. They found a knife in the sink, an axe hanging on the wall, and a mop in the tub. In the basement, they found some women's clothing, including underwear, bra, and leggings, and a blouse. It was hidden underneath a workbench and between some support beams. On April the 6th, investigators discovered a foot and flesh. This guy is sick. He's sick. Maxwell Anderson was 33 years old at the time. He worked as a bartender in Milwaukee and was a former high school football star at the Catholic Memorial High. He graduated from P. Waukegan High School, and he worked at his father's insurance company, Anderson's Insurance Associates and Insurance Associates of America, where he was listed as a manager. His father moved to Florida while Maxwell stayed in Wisconsin. Rumors say his father is very wealthy. Many worried that his father might bail him out on the $5 million bond, but thankfully that did not happen. He took Shardai on their first date at the Twisted Fisherman, where he actually worked, and allegedly claimed that he needed to pick up some tax forms. Anderson had a criminal history. In 2015, he faced charges of domestic abuse and property damage. In 2019, he was charged with disorderly conduct, and in 2022, he was convicted of second offense drunk driving. During an incident in 2015, he actually smashed a glass, punched a hole in the wall, and grabbed a phone from a relative who was trying to call the police. Friends say he had been struggling with alcohol, and he had a major temper, and he gave off some creepy vibes. When police searched his home on April the 4th, they found blood in the bathroom on the walls leading to the basement. That blood did not match Shardai's, so investigators are wondering if he had done some harm to somebody else. They also found a ID belonging to another woman. On Facebook in 2016, he wrote multiple weird posts, like wondering who he'd be kissing on New Year's Eve when he passed out on the floor. His account has since been deleted. In 2024, right before his arrest, he volunteered for Feeding America, which friends thought this was odd, given what was about to happen. After the charges, first-degree intentional homicide, mutilation of a corpse, and arson were filed, bail was set at $5 million. A friend even visited in June of 2023 and found that he had dug a massive hole in his backyard, 5 feet long by 6 feet deep, rumored to be an underground sex dungeon. This guy is weird. A confidential informant who visited in early March described seeing tarps taped to the walls and floor around a sanitation sink. Nothing about the scenario seemed possible in anybody's mind. Friends who knew Anderson described him as very strange, childish, and unsettling. They said they felt very uneasy around him. Some said they didn't even like him at first, and it is unclear if they ever warmed up to him. During the house search, officers found several disturbing items, including more women's clothing. Police believe that Anderson killed Shardai between arriving at his home and leaving the Memorial Park in the early hours of April the 2nd. He was arrested right after the search warrant and charged with, like I said, homicide, mutilation of a corpse, and arson. He remains in custody. The upcoming trial will reveal more evidence, including some body cam footage. Since Shardai's death, her mother launched Shade's Voice, a nonprofit supporting missing persons and crime victims.
Prosecutors say Robinson vanished after a first date with 33-year-old Maxwell Anderson. Unsealed warrants revealed a confidential informant told investigators Anderson planned to kill Robinson. A seemingly fatal attraction leading to an investigation spanning 2 states and the arrest of Anderson for homicide, arson, and mutilation charges.
This sick son of a is gonna pay.
They hate you. You're gonna die. I don't want to do this.